I am Ankita Robin and welcome to ST Global News. From a powerful proclamation by the man with the highest IQ in world history to the sacerdotal anniversary of Pope Leo XIV, we have many stories to cover. Even the man with the highest IQ in the world acknowledges the divine power of the Lord Jesus. Dr. Young Hoon Kim, who holds the world's highest recorded IQ of 276, has publicly professed his Christian faith. The 46-year-old shared a post on the social platform X declaring his belief that Jesus Christ is God, the way, the truth, and the life. The post quickly went viral, garnering over 18 million views. In a follow-up post on June 20th, Kim stated his intention to use this platform and recognition as an opportunity to lead many souls to God.
Dr. Young Hoon Kim, the record holder for the world's highest IQ, with an exceptionally high IQ of 276, has publicly professed his Christian faith. On June the 17th, South Korean scientist Young Hoon Kim posted on X, "As the world's highest IQ record holder, I believe that Jesus Christ is God, the way and the truth and the life." The viral post has received 18 million views. In a subsequent post, Kim stated that he would use the opportunity to lead many souls to God. Dr. Kim's IQ has been verified by the official world record, the World Memory Championships, and the World Memory Sports Council, which is an official partnership with the Guinness World Record. In another X post on June the 20th, Dr. Kim wrote, "I believe the Bible is the perfect, eternal, and final word of God. Therefore, the Bible doesn't need to be updated. The world needs to catch up." He is the founding president and the CEO of the United Sigma Intelligence Association, a non-profit organization for the world's brightest minds. Dr. Kim has earned several degrees and honorary doctorates from prestigious universities in Korea, the UK, and the United States. Dr. Young Hoon Kim is also the founder of NeuroStory, which provides cutting-edge solutions to diagnose and manage brain health using deep tech-based technologies. Bureau Report, Shekinah Global.
On June 23rd, an exclusive screening of the 4th episode from the 5th season of The Chosen will take place at the historic Vatican Film Library. That same day, the cast and producers will hold a press conference to discuss the series' global impact. Additionally, the Vatican has announced that Jonathan Rumi will present a gift from The Chosen to Pope Leo XIV during the general audience on June 25th.
The Chosen series cast will engage in a private audience with Pope Leo XIV during the June 25th general audience. On June 23rd, there will be an exclusive screening of the 4th episode of the 5th season of The Chosen. According to the Holy See press office at 11:30 a.m. on June 23rd, the cast and producers of the series will hold a press conference to discuss the impact of the show. The team will also speak about the upcoming release of 2 feature films from The Chosen, focusing on the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus. Jonathan Rumi, who portrays Jesus in the series, will be present for the launch of its 5th season titled The Last Supper. Joining him will be the series creator and director Dallas Jenkins, along with the cast members Elizabeth Tabish, who portrays Mary Magdalene, George Santos, who plays Saint John, and Vanessa Beneventi, who takes on the role of Virgin Mary. During the press conference, they will also discuss the production and explore the reasons behind the show's international popularity across 5 continents. The series is currently being watched by more than 30% of non-believers worldwide. At 5 p.m. local time, the 4th episode of the 5th season will premiere at the historic Vatican Film Library. The episode, titled The Same Coin, features one of the most powerful scenes in the history of the series, the Women's Last Supper, accompanied by Dayenu, the beloved song traditionally sung during the Jewish holiday of Passover. In addition, the Vatican also announced that Rumi will present a gift from The Chosen to Pope Leo XIV during the general audience on June 25th. Rumi previously met with Pope Francis twice during his pontificate.
On June 17 in Istanbul, Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew I met with Cardinal Mario Grech, Secretary General of the Synod of Bishops, in a meaningful gesture of unity during the meeting held as part of the gathering of the General Secretaries of the Bishops' Conference of Europe. Cardinal Grech shared updates on the current implementation phase of the Synod. The encounter, marked by warm and respectful exchanges, underscored the importance of dialogue and cooperation among Christian denominations.
Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew I met with Cardinal Mario Grech, Secretary General of the Synod of Bishops in Istanbul on 17th June in a significant act of harmony. As part of the General Secretaries of the Bishops' Conference of Europe (CCEE) meeting, Cardinal Grech presented the ongoing Synod implementation phase. The conference, marked by cordial greetings, highlighted the need for dialogue and collaboration among Christian denominations. A report published by Vatican News mentioned that while welcoming the highly anticipated papal visit to Nicaea, the site of the First Ecumenical Council 1700 years ago, Patriarch Bartholomew, a long-time supporter of Christian cooperation, also praised the late Pope Francis for what he described as his friendship and determined commitment to orthodoxy. He was also quoted as saying that they prayed Pope Leo's pontificate would be marked by spiritual discernment and prophetic courage. Bartholomew further urged churches worldwide to focus on building bridges, not walls, especially during what he described as tense times of fear, division, and violence. He emphasized the need for interfaith global discussion along with strong ties with Jewish, Muslim, and other religious leaders. According to the article in Vatican News, he stressed that such conversations were not merely courtesies, but spiritual encounters rooted in the gospel. The coverage also added that during a mass in Istanbul, Cardinal Grech shared that real unity in the church means staying faithful, accepting one another, and showing love and humility, just as God does. Both leaders agreed that unity is challenging but must be pursued with trust, courage, and understanding. Bureau Report, Shekinah Global.
The final stop of the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage in Los Angeles has been scaled back due to ongoing nationwide immigration protests. Originally planned as a 3-day celebration with public processions and a festival, the Corpus Christi events have been modified for safety reasons. While key masses will still take place, the main Eucharistic procession will now be held within the cathedral grounds instead of the city streets. The Corpus Christi events in Los Angeles, originally planned to mark the culmination of the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage, which began on May 18th, were truncated due to safety concerns in light of ongoing nationwide immigration protests. As part of the 3-year National Eucharistic Revival in the United States, the pilgrimage began in Indianapolis in mid-May and is set to conclude on the solemnity of the Most Holy Body and Blood of Christ, also known as Corpus Christi. The final celebrations were initially scheduled to span 3 days and include Holy Masses, Eucharistic processions through the streets of LA, and a Corpus Christi festival. However, organizers made changes to the program as Los Angeles has become the epicenter of protests, which erupted on June 6th following immigration raids by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The revised schedule for June 22nd includes an afternoon Mass at the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels with Cardinal Christophe Pierre, Apostolic Nuncio to the United States, as the celebrant, and Archbishop Jose H. Gomez delivering the homily. The Eucharistic procession that follows will be restricted to the cathedral grounds rather than proceeding through downtown LA as initially planned. Additionally, the Eucharistic Festival has been cancelled. Events on June 20th and 21 remain unchanged. On June 20th, Holy Mass and Eucharistic Adoration will take place at Mission Basilica San Bonaventura. On June 21st, another Mass at Sacred Heart Catholic Church, Altadena, will be followed by a Eucharistic procession through the surrounding neighborhood. That Mass, celebrated by Archbishop Jose H. Gomez, will be offered for the victims of the 2025 Eaton wildfire and will be attended by those affected by it. Also, on June 21st, Mass and Adoration will be held at Mission San Gabriel Archangel, the first Catholic church established in Los Angeles. On the feast of Corpus Christi, more than 3,000 people from over 30 states are expected to participate in the Holy Mass and Eucharistic procession at the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels. During the LA Dodgers annual Pride Night on June 13th, pitcher Clayton Kershaw made a quiet yet powerful statement of faith. While the team wore caps featuring a rainbow-themed logo, Kershaw added the Bible reference Genesis 9:12-16 beside it, a verse that recalls God's covenant with Noah and the true origin of the rainbow. His subtle gesture sparked widespread attention online, with many praising him for standing up for his beliefs. LA Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw made a quiet yet powerful stand for faith during the team's annual Pride Night at Dodger Stadium. The event, held on Friday, June 13th, took place during a game against the San Francisco Giants. As part of the evening, the Dodgers wore matching team caps featuring the Dodgers' Pride logo, which incorporated rainbow colors. However, Kershaw drew attention by writing Genesis 9:12-16 next to the logo on his cap, a subtle gesture with deep meaning. The referenced verses from the Bible describe God's covenant with Noah following the Great Flood. In the passage, God promises never again to destroy all life on earth and sets a rainbow in the clouds as a sign of that covenant. Verses 12-15 read, "I set my bow in the clouds to serve as a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. When I bring clouds over the earth and the bow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and every living creature, every mortal being, so that the waters will never again become a flood to destroy every mortal being." Kershaw's quiet act sparked widespread discussion online. One user on X commented, quote, "The LA Dodgers forced pagan Pride Month activism on their team with rainbow logos. Clayton Kershaw's silent rebellion is priceless," end quote. Another posted, quote, "Clayton Kershaw reminding everyone what the rainbow really represents. God bless him," end quote. The 37-year-old left-handed pitcher who grew up in the Methodist Church is known for his strong Christian faith. He and his wife Ellen co-authored a book titled Arise, Live Out Your Faith and Dreams on Whatever Field You Find Yourself, with proceeds going toward building an orphanage in Zambia. Father Damian's birthplace has been carefully restored and was reopened to the public on May 24th. The restoration was completed with meticulous attention to detail in close collaboration with Belgium's Heritage Agency and the Flemish government. The Damian Museum now welcomes individual visitors from Wednesday to Sunday between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. with no appointment necessary. Group and school visits are still accommodated by prior arrangement. This new permanent exhibition honors the extraordinary life and legacy of Father Damian, widely known as the Apostle of the Lepers.
Following an extensive restoration, the doors to the birthplace of Father Damian were reopened on May 24th, offering visitors a glimpse into the early life of one of the most beloved missionary saints. In the serene Belgian town of Tremello, Flanders, the small house carries the legacy of the hero of charity. Born in rural Belgium on January 3, 1840, his name was Joseph de Voyster, the youngest of 7 children. This champion of compassion and sacrifice grew up in this house before beginning his journey from the farmlands of Belgium to the remote Hawaiian island of Molokai, dedicating his life to those affected by leprosy. He eventually contracted the disease himself and passed away in 1889 at the age of 49. In the United States, he is remembered not only as a Catholic saint but also as a heroic figure in Hawaiian history. He was beatified by Saint Pope John Paul II in 1995 and canonized by Pope Benedict XVI in 2009. He is recognized as the patron saint of those afflicted with leprosy and has also been regarded unofficially since the 1980s as the patron for those suffering from AIDS, and his feast day is observed on May 10th. During the reopening ceremony, Father Juan Carlos Tinhaka of the Congregation of Sacred Heart of Jesus and Mary shared that the house is more than a historical building. It is a living symbol and place of memory and inspiration. It is where the path of faith and life began for a man who would later become, beyond the borders of Belgium, the church, and even religion itself, a universal sign of human compassion. Father Damian belonged to the congregation of the Sacred Hearts of Jesus and Mary. During his hardships on Molokai, the Eucharist was his source of strength. Through the Sacred Heart of Jesus, he discovered the courage, compassion, and faith to give himself completely to those whom no one else dared to approach. The restoration of Father Damian's birthplace, a designated heritage site since 1952, was carried out with great care and in close collaboration with Belgium's Heritage Agency and Flemish government. The extensive renovation involved replacing the roof, restoring the facade, refurbishing both interior and exterior woodwork, and paying special attention to the stained glass windows and the upstairs room where Damian was born. The project cost $707,769, excluding value-added tax, with subsidized amount by the Flemish government. On the ground floor, visitors can take an interactive journey through Father Damian's life. His childhood is recreated in the best room, where period furnishings and original items connected to the devoted family are displayed. The adjacent chapel, with its restored stained glass windows, houses sacred artifacts from Damian's life, including his mission cross and chasuble symbols of his work as a priest missionary in the Hawaiian Islands. At the heart of the display is an authentic Hawaiian religious statue representing his deep engagement with the Hawaiian culture. Perhaps the most moving element of the museum is Father Damian's original coffin, a quiet reflection of life, sacrifice, and death. An interactive map enables visitors to explore key events from the saint's life through testimonies, photographs, and historical documents. The Damian Museum is now open to individual visitors from Wednesday to Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. without the need of an appointment. Group and school visits remain available by prior arrangement. The extraordinary life of the Apostle of Lepers is now being celebrated through this new permanent exhibition.
Pope Leo XIV celebrated the 43rd anniversary of his priestly ordination on June 19th, recalling the day he was ordained in the chapel of Saint Monica in Rome in 1982 at the age of 27. A member of the Augustinian order and a scholar of canon law, he later served as a missionary in Peru for nearly 2 decades, taking on roles such as parish pastor, seminary professor, and apostolic administrator. Before his election as Pope, he was appointed prefect of the dicastery for bishops and created a cardinal by Pope Francis, who assigned him the very chapel of his ordination as his titular church.
Pope Leo XIV celebrated the 43rd anniversary of his priestly ordination on June 19. Robert Francis Prevost entered the Augustinian order in 1977 and took his first vows on September 2, 1978. He was ordained to the priesthood on June 19, 1982 in the chapel of Saint Monica in Rome by Archbishop Jean Jadot of Belgium. At the time of his ordination, Father Robert Prevost was 27 years old and had already studied canon law at the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas. According to Vatican News, the commemorative holy card marking the priestly ordination had the words of St. Augustine and the Russian icon of the Last Supper on it. A few years after his ordination in 1985, he was sent as a missionary to Peru, where he served for nearly 2 decades in various capacities like parish pastor, diocesan official, director of formation, seminary teacher, judicial vicar, and apostolic administrator. Pope Francis appointed Robert Prevost prefect of the dicastery for bishops in January 2023, a powerful position responsible for selecting bishops. On September 30, 2023, Pope Francis elevated Bishop Prevost to the rank of cardinal and assigned the chapel of St. Monica, the very place where he was ordained in 1982, as his titular church. Bureau Report, Shekinah Global.
That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.